Hello everyone, this is Mallikarjun of Triple E Department, St. Peter's Engineering College. In this video, we will discuss about three-phase energy meter. Three-phase energy meter. We know about energy meter. It is used to measure what? Electrical energy in terms of kilowatt hour. Similarly, here the three-phase energy meter is used to measure the power of a three-phase supply. We will see the constructional details and what are the different constructional parts of a three-phase energy meter, how it will work in this particular video. Our topic is three-phase energy meter. Three-phase energy meter. It is used to measure the power of a three-phase supply. To measure the power of three-phase supply. It is mainly used to measure the power of what? A power of three-phase supply. Coming to the construction, the three-phase energy meter is constructed by connecting two single-phase energy meters through the shaft. The three-phase energy meter is constructed by connecting two single-phase energy meters. With the shaft. It is a combination of what? Two single-phase energy meters. With a shaft. And the total energy consumed are calculated is taken as the sum of the readings of both the energy meters. Sum of readings of both meters will give you what? Will give you total reading. Will give you what? Total reading. That is, total energy consumed is equal to what? Sum of the readings of both the energy meters which are connected with the help of a shaft. And the rotation of a shaft. In case of a three-phase energy meter is proportional to the energy consumption. The rotation of a shaft in three-phase energy meter is proportional to what? Is proportional to the three-phase energy consumption. This is regarding important points regarding three-phase energy meter. It is mainly used to measure the power of what? Power of a three-phase supply. How it is constructed? It is constructed with the help of a two single-phase energy meter. Which are connected to a single shaft. And how to measure the three-phase power by using this energy meter? By taking the sum of readings measured by both the energy meters which are connected in a circuit. That is, as we are using two single-phase energy meters, and take the addition of readings of both the energy meters to get the total power measured by the three-phase energy meter. Coming to the next point, the rotation of shaft which is present in case of a three-phase energy meter will be always proportional to the three-phase energy consumption. Is always proportional to what? Three-phase energy consumption. Now we will go for the construction and working details of a three-phase energy meter. Construction and working details of a three-phase energy meter. Construction and working of three-phase energy meter. Three-phase energy meter. As I have said earlier, three-phase energy meter is constructed by using how many single-phase energy meter? Two single-phase energy meter. Let me say that this is one single-phase energy meter, one single-phase energy meter, and let me say that this is one more single-phase energy meter. This is one more single-phase energy meter. If these two single-phase energy meters are connected to a single shaft, if these two single-phase energy meters are connected to a single shaft, if these two single-phase energy meters are connected to a single shaft, then I can say that this is the construction of a three-phase energy meter. Three-phase energy meter. Let me this is one phase, this is another phase. Let me this is R, Y and B. I am connecting one energy meter, one single phase energy meter to the R phase. I am connecting one more single phase energy meter to the B phase, where the connecting point of both the single phase energy meters are connected to Y phase, which is called as a shaft. Just I am showing the construction view of a three-phase energy meter, where it consists of a two single-phase energy meter which are connected to a common shaft. As we know that the single-phase energy meter consists of an aluminium disc, braking magnet, copper band, copper rings, braking magnet, etc. Similarly, here as we are using a two single phase energy meters, each single phase energy meter will have the different component. That is, the above single phase energy meter will have one aluminum disc, the energy meter which is present below, that is the second one, consists of separate aluminum disc. It has one braking magnet, Similarly, it will have some copper bands or copper ring, etc. Except as they are connected to a single shaft, two single phase energy meter are connected to form a three phase energy meter. But coming to the parts, each and every single phase energy meter have different constructional parts. It has the first single phase energy meter will have its own aluminum disc, braking magnet, copper bands and copper pins. Similarly, the second single phase energy meter will have its own copper bands, copper rings, braking magnets and aluminum disc. Coming to the next point regarding the construction. The three-phase energy meter has two discs which are mounted on a single shaft. And coming to the connection of a current coils and pressure coils of both the energy meters. Current coils and pressure coils of both the single phase energy meters here. The current coils of both the elements. The current coils of both the elements are connected in series. The current coils of both the elements are connected in series. Coming to the second point, the potential coils or pressure coils are connected in parallel. The potential coils or pressure coils are connected in what? Parallel. In case of what? In case of a three-phase energy meter. As the current coils of both the elements, that is, both the single phase energy meters are connected in series. As the current coils of both the single phase energy meters are connected in series, the full load current is passed through the coil. the full load current will be passed through the coils, due to which two torques are produced. Due to which two torques are produced. As current coils are connected in series, full load current is passed through it. Full load current will be passed through it. Full load current will be passed through it, due to which two forces will be produced. Due to which two forces will be produced. Two forces will be produced. Coming to the next point regarding the working. Coming to the next point regarding the working. The position of braking magnet, and shading bands. The position of braking magnets and shading bands which are present in both the single phase energy meter are adjusted for obtaining balanced torque. As we have two braking magnets and also two copper bands or shading bands in case of a three-phase energy meter, as they are adjustable, they can be adjusted for obtaining a balanced torque by using this three-phase energy meter, where the driving torque is used to move the position of a pointer. Where the balanced torque is used to move the position of a pointer. Coming to the next point. The torques of both the elements. Are added mechanically. The torques which are obtained by both the single phase energy meters are added mechanically in order to get total electrical energy. In case of a three-phase energy meter. This is regarding the constructional details and also the working of a three-phase energy meter. Now coming to the errors present in case of a three-phase energy meters, it also consists of a creeping error, frequency error, frictional error, speed error, and also the errors due to the voltage variations. The errors in case of a three-phase energy meter is completely similar to that of a errors what we have discussed in case of single-phase energy meter. In case of a single-phase energy meter. Now we will move to the one more important concept, that is phantom loading in energy meter. That is phantom loading in energy meter. Phantom loading in energy meter. Phantom loading in energy meter. The phantom loading. Now we are going to discuss about what? Phantom loading. The phantom loading is a phenomenon. In which the appliances will consume some amount of electricity even when they are turned off. Phantom loading is a phenomenon in which the appliances will consume electricity even when they are turned off. That is the disc of the energy meter rotates. But the devices will not consume any electrical power. The disc of the energy meter rotates, which will increase the reading of a meter, but the devices will not consume any power. This type of loading is known as phantom loading, or else it can also be called as a virtual loading, or else it can also be called as a vampire. Phantom loading can also be called as virtual loading, or else it can also be called as a vampire, or else it can also be called as what? Vampire. Now I am going to give the definition of phantom loading again. It is a phenomena in which appliances will consume electricity, in which appliances consume electricity, even when they are turned off, even when they are turned off. This concept is called as a phantom loading. What happens due to the phantom loading in case of an energy meter is that the disk will read, the disk of energy meter will rotate. In case of a phantom loading, the disk of energy meter will rotate, which increases the reading, of meter, but devices will not consume any power. So phantom loading is a phenomena in which the appliances consume electricity when they are turned off. Coming to the second point, the disk of an energy meter rotates. Which increases the reading of meter, but device will not consume any power. This type of loading is known as virtual loading phenomena. This type of loading is known as what? Virtual loading phenomena, or else it can also be called as vampire. VAMPIRE. Now we will see how the phantom loading applied to an energy meter. How the phantom loading concept is applied or used in case of an energy meter. In phantom loading, the pressure coil is connected to a separate voltage and the current coil is connected to a separate voltage. Previously, we have seen the constructional details of an energy meter, where the pressure coil and current coil are connected to a single voltage source. But in case of phantom loading test, the pressure coil is connected to a separate voltage source and the current coil is connected to a separate voltage source. That is, pressure coil is connected to normal supply voltage. Where the current coil is connected to low voltage supply. Where this low voltage is called as phantom voltage. Now coming to the phantom loading test again, the pressure coils and current coils are connected to different supply voltage levels in case of a phantom loading test. Where the pressure coil is connected to what? Normal supply voltage and the current coil is connected to a low voltage supply. Where the voltage is known as what? Phantom voltage. Phantom voltage. Even though as the current coil is connected to Even though as the current coil is connected to a low supply voltage, it will circulate rated current. It will circulate rated current because the impedance of current coil is very low. Because the impedance of current coil is very low. What is the next important point? As the impedance of current coil is low, it can supply rated current. As the impedance of current coil is low, it can supply rated current with low voltage supply. As the current coil is connected to a low voltage supply, even though it can supply the rated current through that coil. It can supply rated current to that coil because the impedance of current coil is very low. Because the impedance of current coil is very low. Now we will see the circuit diagram representations of a pressure coil and also the current coil in case of a phantom loading test. Pressure coil is connected to what? It is connected to a normal supply voltage. It is connected to a normal supply voltage. Normal supply voltage. Let me say that this is 230 volts. 230 volts. Where the current coil is connected to a what? Low voltage. It should be connected to a low voltage. Let me say that this voltage is 6 volts. This is current coil. Just I am showing an example for the connections of pressure coil and current coil in case of a phantom loading test. In case of a phantom loading test. Now, if I want to calculate the power, if I want to calculate the total power required for this phantom loading test, if I want to calculate the total power required under phantom loading condition, total power required under phantom loading condition, then it will be taken as the sum of power loss in both pressure coil and current coils. Sum of power loss in both pressure coils and current coils. What is the next point? If I want to calculate the total power required, then it is taken as what? Sum of power loss in both pressure coil and current coil. It is taken as what? Sum of power loss in both pressure coil and current coil. That is, the total power required for the test under phantom loading condition is very less. From this observation, from the expression for total power under phantom loading condition, I can observe that the total power required for the test under phantom loading condition is very less. Why? Because it is taken as sum of power loss in both the coils. As it is taken as sum of power loss in both the coils, the total power required under phantom loading is very less. Total power required is less. Total power required is less. Where the power loss in pressure coil, power loss in the pressure coil can be given as V square by R. R is nothing but resistance in case of a pressure coil, and where the power loss in current coil is given as VPH into ICC. VPH into ICC, where I is nothing but the current in case of a current coil, and VPH is nothing but it is called as a phantom voltage. It is called as a phantom voltage. This is regarding the concept of phantom loading in case of an energy meter. The most important point is here the pressure coil and current coil are connected to two separate voltage sources. Pressure coil is connected to a normal supply voltage, current coil is connected to a low supply voltage, which is called as phantom voltage. Even though as I am applying the low voltage to the current coil, it will circulate the high rated current through that, because that due to the impedance factor. And the total power required under phantom loading test is completely low, because it is considered as the sum of power losses in pressure coil and current coil. So this is regarding the construction and working of a three-phase energy meter, and also the concept of phantom loading in an energy meter. Thank you.